I miraculously survived a house fire when I was 3 years old. 90% of my body got burned. I almost died. I went through at least 200 surgeries and skin grafts. My life changed forever, and even 30 years later, it made my love life non-existent, just because of the way I look. I was in my house with my grandpa, when suddenly the windows burst into flames out of nowhere. At 3 years old, I could only panic. I began to inhale smoke. I remember everything. And then, my grandfather rescued me. He took me to the nearest window to escape the flames. But that's when I got blazed up by the fire. My grandpa passed away, and the ambulance appeared. They took me to the nearest burn unit. It hurt so much. I can still feel the heat in my body. I remember the skin grafting and getting stuck with needles. It's like repeating the same nightmare all over again. Doctors didn't expect me to live, but I did. The fire demolished my left foot, my right ear, and my hands. I was left with a body full of scars and a very hard recovery process. I underwent at least 200 surgeries throughout my life. I stayed in the hospital for months. Finally, I completed the treatment, but it was just the beginning of my journey. My burns and scars affected my confidence. I didn't like the way I looked at all. The fire killed my grandfather, but they also killed my love life too. Once you know how to take care of yourself, having company becomes an option, not like a necessity. I'd feel differently about this if it wasn't for my scars. It is hard to feel attracted to you because of your scars and burns. Monster, I understand. It's not their fault. But I also know that not every person is the same. I've learned that what's more important is that I am a great human being. It's more about who you are as a person and how you treat others. Beauty comes from within. Be strong, be confident, and stand your ground, no matter what people think or say about you. Having confidence is beauty. Being kind, intelligent, down-to-earth, warm, and loyal are beautiful traits to have.
I'm a burn survivor. I've had 123 surgeries and still counting. My mom told me that she fainted when she saw me for the first time. My sister, she was scared to see me. 90% of my body was burned, and they had to do skin graft all over my body. My surgeries probably cost $1 million or more. Right now, I'm doing outpatient therapy where I'm learning how to walk again. It happened around 1 o'clock in the morning while I was sleeping in my apartment. It catch a fire. I was in the burn unit in the hospital. I was in a coma for 4 months. I died twice, came back to life. They had to amputate my arms and legs because I had a bad infection. That caused me to have no limbs. I went to 2 different rehabs where they teach me how to walk, talk, eat, do everything like a baby again. So I wasn't aware that I was even amputated. The fire happened in Boston. They gave me the fire report and the police report. It didn't say anything what caused the fire. It's still under investigation until this day. So I was the only person injured in the apartment fire. It was 60 people that was displaced in the building. My thoughts and feeling when I woke up in September was I was out of it. I couldn't see that well. I couldn't see myself. I couldn't even sit up straight, honestly. I couldn't do anything for myself. My therapist had to help me to sit up. I remember screaming to the nurses, confused, they try to comfort me to tell me that, it's okay. You was in a fire accident. I was out of it from all the meds I was on. I wanted to go home, honestly. I wanted to leave the hospital. I wanted them to explain to me why they had to amputate my legs and arms without my permission. When I was in rehab, I loved every moment of it. I love working out. I love going to therapy. It's been great for me. The easiest thing to adapt to is definitely doing my makeup, painting, feeding myself, Walking is great. Things I could do now that I couldn't do before. I didn't know how to drive my wheelchair outside. They didn't taught me that in rehab. I was always in the facility driving my wheelchair. So now I could drive my wheelchair outside without a seatbelt. Before I had to buckle up. And I could cook now. I could make myself a sandwich. I could do my makeup 100% on me. I could bathroom in by myself now. I could set myself up for TikTok now. Before I needed help with all of that.
I got electrocuted. It changed my life forever. I survived third-degree burns over 70% of my body. One of the most burned people in Sweden. The accident was entirely my fault. I was just about to graduate from high school, and I felt like kind of ready to take on the world because I played soccer and I had a dream about being a musician and an artist. And then all of a sudden I had a big accident, and it all happened in the blink of an eye. I was in the hospital and I had no idea how it happened. When I had my accident, I was with a friend and we were walking by the train station. Something just hit us. I climbed onto a parked train that was on the central station of my hometown. I came to the hospital and I had no idea what to expect, but all of a sudden I got informed that I was probably not going to survive because I had severe burns. At first, everything was about surviving. Even though I had a lot of pains and I had surgery each and every day, I stayed kind of positive because I thought I'm going to be able to walk out these hospital doors and make something of myself, continue where I left off before the accident. And after a couple of months of fighting for my life, I got informed that, okay, you're probably going to survive. That was kind of a turning point in a bad way mentally for me, because that's when I realized that even if I make it out alive, I'm going to have to live with these burns and these scars forever. And being that burned as a 19-year-old was a challenge. I got informed that I didn't only have burns, I also have nerve damages in my right leg. That affects me today, that I'm I can't feel my right foot, and I have problems feeling. Also my muscular abilities are kind of bad. It's lower than 50% than what they were. When I looked myself in the mirror for the first time with my burns, all I could think was am I ever gonna have a girlfriend again? Am I gonna be able to have a wife, kids? And my answer to that was probably no. Nobody's gonna want me because I saw these scars. I wasn't used to them. I was 19 years old. I was vain, as you are as a teenager, and looking at myself, looking at these scars just made me think that, okay, I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life and I'm gonna be disabled. So mentally, when I got discharged from the hospital, I was at a very low point. I didn't think that I was gonna have a happy life as a burned man. Each day was a battle just to have people looking at me. Every time I went out, people looked at me. I felt like an outcast. I felt like everybody was just watching me and seeing me as kind of this monster. That's the way I felt. So I started just going to the food court 10 minutes a day just to practice myself to be seen. That kind of hurt me so much. I would just go home after this 10 minutes. As time went on, I could do 15 minutes in public instead. And then I could take off my hoodie that I always wear to hide myself. And after a while, I could do half an hour. I could do other field trips than just going to the food court. Now my job is standing in front of people and holding lectures and doing music in front of people. So what I do daily is to be seen by people. I think that the word beauty is very big. I think my perspective of beauty and what it means to me kind of changed after the accident. I wasn't able to look a certain way anymore. I had these scars, I couldn't erase them, so I kind of had to change my perspective.